Hello, my grade 2 scientists, and welcome back to our lesson about changes in matter. For today's lesson, you need your science book open on page 371. On this page, the instructions say, read the label in each box. Write or draw what happens to water during each change. Changes to water. The first box is condensation. Can you read that word? Condensation. So we need to write or draw what happens to water during condensation. Can you think of something to put? If not, don't worry, I will help you. Condensation is when a gas changes to a liquid. I'll show you an example. Here is condensation on the outside of a glass. Let me tell you why there is condensation there. Water vapor is a gas. Water vapor is in the air all around us. Inside this glass, there is very cold Coca-Cola, probably with some ice. So the glass is very cold. When the air with the water vapor touches the surface of the cold glass, the water vapor gas condenses back into liquid water, and we call this condensation. Water vapor changing to liquid water is condensation. The next box asks us about evaporation. Can you read that word? Evaporation. What changes happen to water during evaporation? Can you think of something? If not, don't worry. I will give you an example now. Evaporation is when a liquid turns to a gas. Liquid to gas. This happens when we heat water. Liquid water turns to water vapor, which is a gas. That is evaporation. Here is an example of evaporation. The puddle is made of liquid water. The sun is heating the liquid water, so it evaporates into water vapor, and the liquid water becomes a gas and goes into the air as water vapor. In the third box, it asks us about freezing. For sure, you remember what happens to liquid water during freezing. In case you forgot, I will give you another example. Freezing happens when we take heat away, when something gets colder. Freezing is a liquid turning to a solid. Liquid to solid is freezing. When you want to buy yourself an ice lolly in the shop, you cannot take the ice lolly off a shelf. You need to take it out of the freezer because the freezer keeps it cold and stops the solid ice pop from melting back into a liquid. So if you want to make your own ice pops, you need to pour the juice into the mold and put it into the freezer where it will freeze and go hard. The liquid juice being frozen and turning into an ice lolly is an example of freezing. Liquid to solid. The last box asks us about melting. What happens to water when it melts? Of course, liquid water cannot melt. We need to have solid water in the form of ice first. When we add heat to the solid ice, it melts and turns back into liquid water. solid to liquid is melting. You can see here in the picture we have a solid ice cube that is getting warm, so it is melting back into liquid water. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. I hope now you really understand all about the changing states of matter.